From noon on, darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m. And about 3 o'clock, Jesus cried with a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of the bystanders heard it, they said, this man is calling for Elijah. At once, one of them ran and got a sponge, filled it with sour wine, put it on a stick, and gave it to him to drink. But the others said, wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him. Then Jesus cried out again with a loud voice and breathed his last. And at that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook and the rocks were split.
Now the centurion and those with him who were keeping watch over Jesus saw the earthquake and what took place. They were terrified and said, truly, this man was God's son. Many women were also there, looking on from a distance. They had followed Jesus from Galilee and had provided for him. Among them were Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of the sons of Zebedee. When it was evening, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who was also a disciple of Jesus. He went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate ordered it to be given to him. So Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid in his own new tomb, which he had in the rock. He then rolled a great stone to the door of the tomb and went away.
Oh, my Lord.
Personally, I don't feel like that man did anything to deserve that, but I was just a soldier doing my job. When the governor gave his sentence, that's when I would go to work. I loved that job. I felt like I was administering justice every time I nailed someone to a tree. That man didn't deserve that. Didn't make sense to me.
It makes no sense. There I was, rotting in a jail cell for stealing, murdering. You name it, I've done it. And I knew the next time I stepped foot outside that jail cell, well, and that was it. So the guards, they came and got me, and they put me beside this guy that was beaten to a pulp. Then Governor Pilate started asking the crowd, which one of these men do you want me to set free? I mean, it was obvious. I mean, the crowd, they're going to say, let Jesus go. And then I was going to tell them where they could go. And then the crowd, they started chanting Barabbas. I mean, they were saying my name. They were saying my name over and over and over again. The guards, they threw me to the crowd, and they took Jesus to Golgotha. I mean, one minute I am a man marked for death, and then the next I'm free. It made no sense. So I followed him all the way to Golgotha.
I was stationed at Golgotha that day. We just raised the second criminal when they brought him to me. I'll never forget the way he looked. He'd been beaten, spit on, whipped. He was unrecognizable as a man. Hideous. What was left of his clothes were stripped off of him, and he was thrown down on the cross. That's when I went to work. Generally, when you crucify a man, the first hand is the most difficult. The criminal wants to get away, he fights you. So I would have 2 soldiers hold him down, but this guy, he didn't put up a fight. I just thought he was exhausted. As an executioner, I've been called every name in the book. I've had men yell at me, plead with me. But I wasn't prepared for that. He looked at us. He looked at me. And he said, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." He forgave me.
Forgive them. He said, forgive them. Who is he? Forgive. It should have been me up there. I was the one that was supposed to be hanging on that cross. He took my place. Then I looked up, and I remember he took a deep, agonizing breath, and he said, "It is finished." And then he died.
Surely, this man was the Son of God.
Sometimes I feel like I can't go on. Sometimes I feel like I can't go on. Sometimes I feel like I can't go on. My Lord is dead and gone. I watched as Jesus died on that tree. I watched as Jesus died on that tree. I watched as Jesus died on that tree. And darkness is all that I see. And now he's lying in a tomb. And now he's lying in a tomb. And now he's lying in a tomb. I'll never see him again.
I just cannot believe it. I just cannot believe it.
Can you believe it, brothers and sisters?
God help us. God help us make sense of this senseless thing. Why? Why did our Lord have to die? He was your servant. You gave him unearthly power, and now this? How? How did we let this happen? How did this happen?
Why did this happen? Didn't he warn us about this when he said, "Beware that no one leads you astray. Many will come in my name and say, 'I am he,' and they will be led astray." When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. This must take place, but the end is still to come. Didn't he say that? For nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be earthquakes in various places, and there will be famines, but this is but the beginning of the birth pains.
It was a different kind of Passover, to say the least. I remember right when we sat down, Philip leaned over to me and he whispers, "Hey, Thomas, I feel like something special's gonna happen tonight." I looked at him. I said, "I doubt it." I was wrong. Jesus got up from the table. He walked over and grabbed a basin of water and a towel. And I remember at the time thinking to myself, what's Jesus doing with the foot water? You know, I doubt he's going to wash somebody's feet. I was wrong. He knelt down and began to wash Bartholomew's feet. Bart just sat there. He didn't say anything. He didn't move. None of us did. Jesus finished and went on to James and Andrew and the rest of us. I remember at the time thinking, this is so strange, yet wonderful. And then I thought, I doubt anybody's going to say anything right now. I was wrong. You know who broke the silence? Peter.
No way you're going to wash our feet. I mean, that's what I told him. He could wash other people's feet, but he wasn't going to wash mine. I looked at him and I said, Jesus, you're not going to wash our feet. I mean, you're the king. And he looked at me and he said, well, then you can have nothing to do with me. And I'm like, ouch. Okay, wash my feet, wash my hands, wash my whole body if you have to. He looked at me and said, no, your feet will be fine, Peter. In the midst of him washing our feet, he teaches us servanthood.
Then Jesus took some bread and some wine. He blessed it and he served it to us. He said it was a new covenant with his blood. And he said, tonight, all of you will lose faith in me. I remember thinking right then, lose faith in you? Never. But I didn't say anything. I just sat there.
I couldn't just sit there. I had to say something, so I looked at him and I said, Jesus, I love you. You can count on me. Everybody else may fall away, but I will not. You can count on me. He looked at me and he smiled. He said, Peter, you'll deny me 3 times for tomorrow morning. Ouch. The next thing I knew, we were wrapping things up and we were headed to the garden to pray.
That last night before they took him, wasn't it the most beautiful Passover that you've ever celebrated? But when Jesus took the bread and broke it and poured the wine into the cup, I thought he was talking about his life of service, not his death on a cross.
I come to the garden with him while the dew was still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, his need for prayer discloses. And he walked with me, and he talked with me, and he told me I was his own. And the joy we shared as we tarried there, none other has ever known. He spoke, and the sound of his voice was so sweet, the birds hushed their singing, and the melody Jesus taught to me will in my heart keep ringing. And he walked with me, and he talked with me, and he told me I was his own. and the joy we shared as we tarried there. None other has ever known. I stayed in the garden with him till the soldiers around us were crowding. They made him go, and my voice of woe to him it kept on calling. And he walked with me, and he talked with me, and he told me I was his own. And the joy we shared as we tarried there, none other has ever known.
You see, when we were in the garden, I could tell that he was troubled. Jesus even asked all of us to stay awake, to remain with him and pray. But John fell asleep.
We all fell asleep.
Once we got to the garden, it just got crazy. Jesus asked Peter, James, and myself to go further in the garden with him and pray, and we did. We tried. We kept falling asleep. Jesus kept waking us up. I remember one time he said, "The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." That's true. It's all a blur. And I think this whole mess got started because of Judas. Did he really think what he was doing was right?
There he is. He's the one you want, the one praying by himself. Now the others, they will come up and try to create some scene. But the one that I kiss on the cheek, that's the one you want. Now 30 pieces of silver, right? That's what we agreed upon? 30 pieces. Forget about the rest. The one that I kiss on the cheek, that's the one you want.
A kiss? Judas betrays Jesus with the kiss of a friend? And then it got crazy. Peter grabs a sword and he cuts off this guy's ear. And Jesus just reached down and picked it up and put it right back on the guy's head as if nothing had happened. And then they took him. I'd love to tell you that we fought for him, but we didn't. Everyone ran. I ran. I'm so ashamed.
What have I done? What have I done? Was I so stupid to think that I've killed him? I've killed him. I've crucified Jesus.
How I wish this whole thing was just a dream, a nightmare from which I could just wake up. I should have thought to protect him. He was my teacher. He was my friend.
Don't you remember that when the temple guard came to arrest him, Peter tried to fight, but Jesus wouldn't let him? And then we hid in the shadows while our Lord was tried in the temple courts and beaten.
It was just like Jesus said. The rooster crowed and Peter denied him.
We all denied him. I don't understand. I just don't understand. Why did our Lord have to die? I thought he could have been the Messiah, the chosen one.
Oh, yes, I remember. Jesus said, the Son of Man must be delivered unto the hands of sinful men and be crucified. Oh, yeah.
I heard Jesus say that it's prophecy and written that the Christ must suffer. Oh, God, what he went through. Did you see him on the cross? The ground was wet with his blood. Could it be true? Dear God, could it be true?
He shall overcome. He shall overcome.
He shall
Overcome his death. Oh, if in our hearts we do believe, he shall overcome his death. God is on our side. God is on our side. God is on our side always. Oh, if in our hearts we do believe, God is on our side always.
A few of us women are going to wait until Sunday morning after the Passover, and we're going to go to Jesus' tomb and rewrap his body.
There's nothing else. There's nothing else we can do. Our Lord is gone. So thanks for coming. It is the Sabbath. Go back to your homes and pray. Go. Just go.
Go home. It's the Sabbath. Go home.